Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Hopefully you've had a chance to see the Legion finale. You requested a video, so I'm going to explain everything that's going on. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. I do Marvel and DC videos every week. Leave all your requests in the comments below. But I know there are a lot of floating eye questions that you guys have after the finale. There's a lot of Season 2 things that they've talked about, how Season 1 is more of an internal battle, David versus himself, a la the Shadow King. Season 2 is going to be more of an external battle. So that's the beauty of the Shadow King leaving his body, is that there's actually somebody else that he can reach out and fight. It was an absolutely fantastic series. It took a little while to get going, which is why I think traditional Marvel fans had trouble finding it, or at least sticking around to the last 3 episodes or so when it really got crazy and they started to do actual comic book stuff. But let's go through the episode in chronological order because there's some important stuff for Season 2, especially the interrogator character. The whole intro, it was this beautiful backstory about what happened to him in the wake of David's breakout. It humanizes him because at the end of the episode they say, we need to work together. And he sort of agrees, I'll try to convince the other division people. We also learn that there are 2 other divisions that we haven't seen yet. We get a teaser for that through the interrogator's husband who is working with these generals, and they say, release the Equalizer, release the Peacemaker. So that's like another group of this big division governmental organization. He throws that in their face. Do you understand how big we are? He's part of Division 3. They're all about studying David, trying to learn more about him, assess his threat, but the other divisions might have different goals and different views about mutants. So even if the interrogator has come around and recognizes that the Shadow King is the true villain, the other division people might not care about that. They might just be worried about David, who is the world breaker. Hulk name drop. I totally love it when they said that. She wasn't really talking about the Hulk, but if you're not familiar with World Breaker Hulk, that's probably one of the best runs of Hulk comics ever. It starts with Planet Hulk, which we're going to be seeing during Thor Ragnarok, and ends with World War Hulk, when he comes back to Earth to break everyone that shot him into space. The Illuminati ganged up, said that he was too much of a threat. The only way we can solve this is by shooting you into deep space. His spacecraft crashed on Sakaar. That's where the Planet Hulk story picks up. You can let me know in the comments if you really want me to do a separate Planet Hulk comic book story explainer, because it's fantastic. They're trying to extract the Shadow King permanently from David, but through the soup explainer. I love the way they use soup as a metaphor. When you chop all the bits up, have you ever tried to unmake soup? They're implying that the Shadow King has layered himself throughout David's memories. So that's why David was walking back through his older memories, seeing the Shadow King at all those separate places. That was the soup. He was walking through the soup of his memories, going back to his earliest memory when they're in this moment here when he's a child. It's implied that this is when the Shadow King first entered his mind. That's where Sid comes in. She says, I'll make a bargain with you and you can come out through me. Because the Shadow King wants to find another host, there's something that he's looking for that he talks about during episode 7.
What did he do with it?
What did he do with it? Hey, sexy. Tell me about the day David came to live with you. A man brought him, yeah?
I was 4.
But you remember.
Where is it? Where is it? He's in that giant map room, and that's why at the end of the episode, when he's with Oliver, he says, where should we look first? Somewhere warm. So there's a thing that the Shadow King is looking for. It's probably something that will allow him to exist in the real world without a host. So the whole reason that he needs one is because his initial battle with Professor X we saw in the blackboard drawing, he was defeated inside the astral plane, so his body was destroyed, his mind lived on inside the astral plane. And that's what you're seeing here with this black cloud floating when it enters Oliver's mind. Love the Pink Floyd that they used as they were going through his memories, Dark Side of the Moon, Dark Side of David's mind, who is the Shadow King. So metaphorically, the way they use music is great in this series. Shadow King gets out, uses Sid's power to transfer into female Carrie who has the fighting skills, so uses her abilities to take everyone down. then probably one of the best moments of the series when they're running at each other with the psi energy just rippling all over them. So that's their psychic energy manifesting in the physical world. They can actually do that. Oliver kind of did it in the dream state when he was creating that shield around them, but it's just a taste for how powerful David can be. This is just the beginning. So when they call him the World Breaker, it goes way beyond telepathy, way beyond telekinesis, and way beyond teleportation. Those are the three main abilities that we've seen him manifest so far. But in the comics, the different personalities of his mind can manifest different powers, and he can manifest people in the physical world. Like he'll conjure someone up in his mind, like the British version of himself, which is funny because he's British in real life. So he's talking to himself, but he could do that in the real world if he wanted.
Well, he was wrong. I was sick. But I'm not sick anymore. So what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna get my body back.
So we might see him manifest some new powers during season 2. So as Oliver slips away looking for whatever it is the Shadow King wants, David's able to track him, then gets sucked up into this mysterious floating eye, no questions answered. So the post-credits raises more questions than it answers, but a lot of people are like, hey, wait a minute, is he being taken to the Mojoverse? Because in the animated series, Mojo was sort of a funny parody of network executives that were trying to drive ratings by making superheroes battle. So he would capture them and make them fight in an arena, gladiator style. So people are like, wait a minute, is this Mojo that's capturing him? I don't think that it's Mojo. I think that's the Equalizer, and he's going to Division. They spent so much time setting up this giant web of government organizations that goes way beyond Division 3, so they'll probably explain what they are and what their plans for David are. So you have to imagine that the Interrogator is now no longer their enemy. He's trying to help them out, but within the giant evil organization, Hydra style, there are bad people and then there are really bad people. So they did confirm that they're not going to do any specific comic book storylines for season 2. They're going to be developing more of the mythology that they've already set up. So the Shadow King will continue to be the big villain. Oliver will be the big villain because the Shadow King's inside him, which I think is fantastic.
Of a barmaid in Sale, were tattooed the prices of ale, and on her behind, for the sake of the blind, was the same information in Braille. Oliver Bird, dedicated follower of fashion.
I totally love Jermaine Clement. He's going to be amazing. He was one of the best things about season 1. But all these other characters, they're coming back. And the really cool news is that season 2 will be 10 episodes. That's up 2 from the 8 of season 1. So we're getting more episodes. They didn't say when it's going to premiere, presumably the same time season 1 premiered. So overall, I gave the creative expression of the series a giant A. It is one of the best looking superhero shows on television. Thematically, the writing was great, but I'll give it like a B-, I'd say, for their plotting, just because it took so long to ramp up to that. But I think they'll address some of that into season 2 because it took them a while to establish who David was, what his powers were doing. Now it's all about fighting an external force, so you'll get more of those traditional X-Men battle situations. So let me know, what did you guys think of this series? And big question for you guys, I try to change the way I edit my videos just a little bit year to year, so I'm trying to use more video in my videos. Let me know if you guys like that more than just the straight up slideshow method that I used to use last year. So what's going to happen next is I have some new Infinity War behind the scenes. I'll post that in the morning. WonderCon is this weekend. There'll probably be some new footage to drop. Hopefully there'll be some new footage. No confirmation on that. So just stay tuned. Make sure you have alerts enabled for the channel. That's that little bell there. And if there's any specific X-Men related videos you guys want me to do, just let me know in the comments. And there will be a new giveaway happening when I post that Avengers video. So that should post early Saturday morning. While you wait for that, click here for a brand new Game of Thrones footage and click here for the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys in the next video.